His pole at Le Castellet in the last round. Here we go, the final pit stops, what should be the final pit stops for LMGT3. But remember, the Iron Dames are not going to touch this car for the first 10 seconds after the penalty was served for the FCY infringement.
So after that, it's about them being perfect. That, to be fair, has been something they've struggled to do. This is not pointing the finger at the drivers, but at the team. We have had a couple of races fallen victim to problems on pit lane. It is a team sport, remember. Michel Gatting being buckled into the car. Door closes now. Rahel Fry will go to the garage. Or the Temple of Frustration, as it's often referred to, I'm afraid, the Iron Dames this season. It's what on earth can fortune throw us next? And away they go before the Ferrari moves. No tyres.
And the Aston Martin is further up the pit lane, but it's stalled. Oh, hang on a minute. They can't get it out in time to be ahead of the Porsche because that would have been an unsafe release.
They didn't take tyres, did they?
So you're talking about the Iron Dames not taking tyres and everybody else did.
I think that's right.
For road position, that's fine, but there's 46 minutes of the race still to go. So all of a sudden, Michel Gatting is being asked to produce lap time on Rahel Fry's rather worn Goodyear tyres. That was the stall.
It wasn't a stall. It wasn't a stall. It was a stall because he put the lollipop down.
No, the stall meant that the lollipop had to go down because if he'd been clean away, it wouldn't have been an unsafe release. After the car stalled, it would have been an unsafe release, so the lollipop had to be dropped again. So it was a clumsy end, really, to that pit stop, which otherwise had gone to plan. Valentin Haas-Clos, who lost the engine and had to restart it as quickly as possible, but that's not, you know, literally a split second to restart. It does take a couple of seconds, and what they did not want to do was be under the wrath of the stewards there with an unsafe release, because they probably think the new tyres will do well for them. Exactly the same as the gap between 4th and 5th place cars. Here they are now, Graham.
First and second, the red Ferrari behind is a lap car. That's the JMW Motorsport car. Then just into the back of shots was the 3rd place car, the Grid Motorsport by TF's car. Lorcan Hannafin is going to be coming under pressure, though, from the Iron Lynx Lamborghini and Kessel Racing duo who are closing in as well. Cracking stuff. 33 minutes, Johnny.
Down into Acqua Minerale. So many of the Tifosi here this weekend, and emblems galore, whether you have them burned into your shoulder or otherwise. Oh, and off the road goes the 66 JMW Motorsport Ferrari very briefly there. So bent up with the smallest of errors coming out of the Gresini chicane.
It's been a frustrating day for JMW, without a doubt. Troubles early on, never really recovered from that. AO by TF, 10 seconds. Charmelati is closing in on Louis Delafrance. Jan van Uitert hovering around the 20-second mark there. Michel Gatting still holding that gap.
She is.
Impressive stuff. But are those tyres going to hit a cliff?
Full course yellow removed.
Here we go, back to green, and actually Michel Gatting was very quick to react to that, I should say, and into the Tamburello chicane. She is scampering away from the Aston Martin, which might have the merest of grazes. 43 is able to slice by these two LMGT3 leaders then in the hands of Tom Dillman. That's something that Tom tried to do into the full course yellow, as there was a little look at the inside into Toza.
My apologies to the pit wall. Something went wrong with my push to talk button here, as it seems the full course yellow did not go out. I do apologize, but there is nothing I can do about it.
So that's possibly lights on the gantry that didn't correspond with the countdown, maybe, but no doubt about it, Michel Gatting and Valentin Haas-Clos got the word because they both went together.
Indeed they did, and that was a great restart from Michel Gatting. So now going to have to deal with LMP3 car coming through this battle. That's not going to be great news for Valentin Haas-Clos. It's be blessed relief at the moment for Michelle Gatting has just drawn advantage from that, but she's going to have to deal with the challenge of a passing 88 car, laps down, by the way.
Yes, but Kayaski is very swift in that car. He's normally the qualifying driver on a Saturday afternoon. So it's an idea to let that LMP3 car by where possible. This is a great time to do it on the main straight, because it will mean that Michelle loses very little time.
With the race leader now closing, and the next challenge here goes to the outside this time. Louis Delatraz, he makes it by the Porsche and the Ligier, sweeps through into the chicane. Through comes Michelle Gatting. She's lost a little bit of time and momentum there, and it's actually a run here from Valentina Haase-Klo, closing the gap. By the way, Lorcan Hannafin closing the pair of them at the moment, closing in on the pair of these lead cars.
And that's awkward as well, because Ben's probably about as quick as these two now, but isn't in the fight for a podium.
Had a mighty Spa 24, Ben Tuck. Fabulous qualifying performance from him. Kessel Racing, mighty unlucky not to come away with a result.
So the marshals might be showing Ben some blue flags shortly if the Aston Martin of Lorcan Hannafin gets any closer.
Well, they should. Yeah, they should, because that would be the right way. Looks to me like Valentina Haase-Klo is as close as he's ever been, other than the point when he hit her rather, but as close as ever been, and looking pretty racy at the moment.
Yeah, so this is tough to watch for so many up and down pit lane. Here's Michelle Gatting. Now the Aston Martin surely has got a better exit this time around, looking for the crucial inside line down at Tamburello, but Michelle Gatting's not going to allow Valentina Haase-Klo to get anywhere close to it. There was definitely contact there between the two of them on the main straight. There's a big scuff mark now on the Aston Martin and a huge squirm from the Porsche, but Michelle Gatting is not going to give up this race lead that easily and still stays ahead. Phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal. Lorcan Hannafin closing rapidly on this pair. What on earth is going to be the result here? This team, Iron Dames, they just bring the drama, don't they? They open up whatever it is they bring. Car comes out the transporter, put it in the garage. Let's watch again from this angle. She drifts to the left.
Oh, that's the move I was talking about. That could have been absolutely horrendous. Foot flat to the balls from Michelle Gatting, and the car twitched by about 45 degrees. How is that possible?
Dear me.
Oh, I know these cars are heavy things, but I mean, I was about to see that car spin towards the barriers, and that would have been a huge accident.
Again, an LMP2 car getting involved here. LMP3 car coming as well. We've got 21.5 minutes of this to endure, Johnny Palmer.
Well,
and I don't mean that in terms of it being something that's unpleasant to watch, but at moments it's uncomfortable.
My blood pressure is spiking already. Goodness knows what it's like to be inside this Porsche, which we'll say is on very old tyres compared to the Aston Martin, which had a brand new set of Goodyears.
How do you interpret that move from Michelle Gatting? She saw what he was looking to do. She closed the gap. You talk about one move, it was the longest move in motorsport history. Drifted from right-hand side to left-hand side, knew exactly what he needed to do, get the move done, didn't allow him the space to do it, and it was almost like she'd left it too late.
You'd probably say that she didn't actually turn left or right.
She didn't.
The track turns left and turns right, rather, so she should have been turning right, but she stayed straight. And there was no gap in the end for the Aston Martin to get through. But Valentin will have had to have got out of the throttle to avoid a bigger incident than that. But it was the snap in direction from the Porsche. And somehow, on old tyres, the car's still pointing in the right direction. It is still leading the race. Just about, as long as Michelle can slow down at Tosa sufficiently. She can. Back up the hill they go. Aston Martin still right with them, and here comes Lorcan Hannafin. So where's the 66 gone now? That's no longer a distraction. It came in the pits.
Yeah, we've got the last pit stops, so that all of a sudden she gets a little bit of respite with the RLR LMP2 car intervening. But we've got the last pit stops for a range of the P2 cars coming up now.
It might be the run into Rivazza. It might be the run out of Rivazza.
Will be removed in 10. 9.
They're going to have to give it a burst of throttle here before they then hit the brakes.
4.
Watch this bomb explode.
2, 1. Full course yellow removed.
Lorcan Hannafin thought about going to the left, then he thought about going to the right. The Astons might change position, but the Porsche's going to stay in front. No, the Astons stay as they are, in fact. So Lorcan Hannafin, he was the clown in the pack, if you like. He started to zigzag before the greens actually came out. And now the gap starts to extend a little bit.
This, though, is all of the podium positions up for grabs in LMGT3. Your International, by the way, from Ultimate and Team Virage still in LMP3. And it looks like it's Your International's race here if they don't have to pit, and I'm pretty certain they don't.
Good lines through Piratella and down into Aqua Minerale for Michel Gatting in the pink Iron Dames Porsche. And the racing spirit of Le Mans Aston Martin does appear to be slightly better of the two Astons. Lorcan Hannafin just that bit more distant. Or is he deliberately doing that, thinking they're going to take each other off here and I need to have ample time to react? So far that's not happening, though. Michelle Gatting was a bit ragged on the exit, but she's managed to weather that storm. 10
minutes to go. Hannafin allows the P2 car to go through. Try and use it as a pick, maybe. Could see it coming.
So that Nielsen car that was off in the gravel earlier in the piece, Albert Costa now at the wheel, that John Fowle started that car. Adam Ali leading in LMP3 for Euro International ahead of Mathieu Le Hay. 27 seconds to gap. Le Hay's under big pressure, though, from Julien Omrion now. They're just less than a second apart for second and third positions on the P3 podium.
Dusty moment ahead of them.
The 57 out onto the grass on the exit of Tosa, which rather suggests to me they haven't yet looked at that moment into the yellow flag zone for Capietto being off the road. Not Capietto. Yes, Capietto at the top of the hill at Piratella.
So
I think that's going to be looked at yet, isn't it? And was the overtake legit or not?
It looks to be as if, potentially, Hannafin's tyres have hit that cliff.
However, Michel Gatting having to utilise a set of tyres that have certainly done a 30-lap stint or so. Although bear in mind that Rahel Fry stint was littered with a full course yellow. And
the Omrion car.
Julien Omrion off the road, so Mathieu Le Hay and Omrion, well, they're still very close to one another. So
this is a tense time for Michel Gatting, as through come this battling pack of LMP2s. Still she retains that gap. Here comes Daniel Serra catching Lorcan Hannafin.
There's Hannafin in the pink and half pink, half blue Aston Martin. Looking for the bright yellow car guy Ferrari.
There.
Valentin Haas-Close just dropping away a little bit this time. Or is he wary of that LMP2 car, the 77, that wants to get by at the next opportunity? Look at the gap now between the Aston in second and the Porsche in third. And in fact, the 77 of Bent Viscal, who went off in the gravel, remember, at Tosa not too long ago, but did rejoin. And that car can clear Michel Gatting well before the two Rivazzas.
It's 4.5 minutes. And if there was pace in the cars, you'd see, I think, the gap's changing at this stage. And I think Charles Malaysia has broken. While we're watching this, I can tell you that Daniel Serra is right on the boot lid of the Aston Martin. Great stuff. Battles in every class. Alex Quinn under pressure in the last 3 minutes of this race on Mathieu Vazaviev, the lead in LMP2 Pro-Am. Matthias Besch in that fight as well. 1, 2, 3 covered by 4 seconds. This is the lead battle for LMGT3, and the 22 Orica involved in that.
From the pit lane, Vlad Lomko, who did the middle stints, and now Tom Dillman is up the inside. Valentin Haas-Close thought about an overtake at Tosa. He's running out of opportunities, though, now. That Aston does look strong coming out of Villeneuve and into the Tosa hairpin. But that's one of the chances gone now for the rapid Frenchman.
You would ask yourself, did they make an error there?
Well, why did they not just blend out of the throttle and finish the race there and then? Maybe Charmin Lacey's having too much fun. I mean, he's on fairly...
Oh, Serra is through. Serra's up to third. Serra is past Lorcan Hannafin, up in third place.
OK, well, Lorcan's been told to tidy up his racing lines, and that has allowed... There he is, Daniel Serra, in the day-glow yellow, the highlighter yellow Ferrari through again. Bear in mind the GT3s, the LMGT3s, as that's the 88 car off the road.
Side by side, this is for third place.
But I'll remind you that the LMGT3s have to go round once again, because it's the overall leader that dictates the race distance. So they've got another lap of this fabulous circuit here in Emilia-Romagna. Third, fourth, fifth in the LMP2s, as the LMGT3s remain in the same order somehow. And it must be down to the threads now on these tyres of Michel Gatting. But Valentin Haskell cannot force an error from the stern and sort of concrete-like Michel Gatting. It's the race leader, though. 65 will be Charmin Lacey, and he crosses the line to take the victory in the 4 Hours of Imola for 2024. We've almost forgotten about the race winner because so much else is happening elsewhere within this race. Here comes Daniel Serra. Now, how many of these cars can he overtake on the closing lap within LMGT3? Looking very likely that Louis Delatraz will finish second in this year's 4 Hours of Imola.
He does.
And he goes across the line now to confirm that.
Vector Sport claim the final podium position. Can't take my eyes off this.
No.
This is an absolute cracker. He's in the toe of the Aston Martin. Comes the inside. Is the room there? There isn't.
This is going to help Michel Gatting, isn't it? Because now all of a sudden Valentin Haskell has to defend all the way to the finish.
Algar Pro Racing take LMP2 Pro-Am.
That's Alex Quinn, who was put into the 20 car for the final stint. We're not very far away from Adam Ali. Adam Ali across the line in the LMP3 to take victory. It's Serra late on the brakes. He's ripped the rear of the Aston Martin off the car, but that doesn't matter. It'll actually mean it's a bit lighter now for Valentin Haskell to pull it out of Rivazza and still to finish second. But Michel Gatting will win by a country mile compared to the most of the final bit of the stint, as the bumper goes flying off towards the barrier. And that's what it means to everyone associated with Proton competition and with the Iron Dames project. How on earth did Michel Gatting get that car to the finish after Rahel Fry had done a stint and a half on the very same set of good years?
The collecting area, but here comes the 85 car.
I think it's 2021 since we last had a victory for Panis, and it was also in Italy, but that was at Monza, which was race 4 of the 6 that we had in 2021.
They did have a great year where they got the car on the podium at Le Mans as well. It would have been the same year. There they come. Yeah, quiet, reserved, understated.
Sarah Bovey on one side, Rahel Fry on the other. She nearly got chucked out of the car there because she wasn't expecting Michel Gatting to turn sharp left and sharp right.
Pretty much like Valentina Haskell then.
Yeah, indeed, yes. Kept Rahel guessing, kept Valentin Haskell guessing. And yeah, that's the reaction. Apologies if you caught a tad.
It's Danish.
Yeah, it's fine. It's Danish language, indeed so, and definitely not Swiss. But yeah, that restart between the 3 cars coming out of that full course yellow will live long in my memory, because Lorcan Hannafin was part of the party at the time as well. And it was a question of, you know, would they all arrive into Rivazza side by side? They very nearly did. And how on earth Michel's got that car to the finish will keep us guessing long into the rest of this season.
Alongside me, I have all 3 winners of the number 85 Iron Dames. Huge congratulations. It feels like this win has been such a long time coming.
Yeah, absolutely. We have worked very hard for it. We were very close already this season, but finally we made it. We got the reward. Big thank you to the team. Today we're going to celebrate.
And Michel, let's just talk to you, because that was an incredible final stint. You know, those tyres were absolutely gone. You had so much pressure on you from the Aston Martins behind.
Yeah, there's something with us and Aston Martin from last year as well. To be honest, yeah, it was. I really wanted that win for all of us, and it was a bit like in Bahrain last year. It was all or nothing. he made it difficult for me, I have to say, but also in Paul Ricard, I was the one stuck behind him, so now it was his turn, and it was a nice fight, maybe a bit on the edge sometimes, but no, we did it today. Honestly, it was unexpected, so I'm just so happy for those two and the rest of the team. Really, it's for all of them.
Amazing. Off you go to the top set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's got to be quote of the day from Michelle. A bit on the edge at times. It was about 45 degrees to the direction of travel at full speed down the main straight at Imola, and still got to Tamburello at the right time. How about Sarah Bovey's reaction? That's how much it means. It's been a long time in the making for 2024 at least, but so many times they've had great results in the ELMS, so we knew they were capable of doing it. Just a matter of the stars aligning, and the Iron Dames are on the top step of the podium. Second to Racing Spirit of Le Mans, third to Kessel Racing. Here's the national anthem. Italy with the links to Iron Links. The Iron Dames crew, though, take victory for the first time this season. Racing Spirit of Le Mans with of Switzerland, with Valentin Haas-Clos as part of the driving lineup. Of course, he was the one that made the contact with the Porsche on that main straight. Derek De Boer, perhaps his best race meeting so far in the ELMS. Casper Stevenson with those middle stints, and properly sturdy ones from the Brit, you have to say.
Great run to the end as well from Kessel Racing in third. Esteban Masson, Takeshi Kimura, and then Daniel Serra with a spirited run. Mike McGregor from Dunlop, apologies, from Goodyear hands out the trophies, showing my heritage there.
At least you didn't say the other manufacturer.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No.
But there you go. Quite the results, quite the headline. Keep writing headlines, these ladies, don't they?
Certainly so, and there's no reason why that will not continue. Great photograph for many to capture down at ground level as the pyrotechnics are released, and now the champagne will spray as well on what's been another warm day. Cooler than yesterday, admittedly, but still in the high 20s and occasionally dipping into 30 degrees Celsius. So this will be welcome relief after a hard-fought run, and those the blood pressure levels will have certainly been creeping.